First of all, let me introduce myself. I'm responsible for business development for Hotelchamp within Europe. And today's presentation will be around how we can lower as hoteliers our distribution costs through Metasearch. And a couple of words about Hotelchamp as well. We are a Dutch company focusing on taking your online presence in your control. What it will mean if you stay with our sessions today, you will learn lots of tricks and how you can do this with us. And so let's crack on. So as you already know, today's session is about how we can lower our distribution costs. And to start with this, I'm going to give a very brief historical view of what is happening in travel. And then we're going to look at the factors, how we can lower our distribution costs and why we should do for our own benefits. So as travel is a huge sector in terms of revenue, we still are not there like as an e-commerce. So we have to, and COVID has taught us a lot about this. We have to shift our paradigm to look at travel as an e-commerce platform. So as a traditional e-commerce platform, there's a manufacturer, in this case, we're the hotel, and they distribute their inventory, in our case, our rooms, to different channels. And when we look at the e-commerce cycle, there is a huge gap and a loss of touch as well, how you reach your customer. We can use the wholesalers through our GDS or our offline contracts, which they connect to the retailers. In our case, yes, is there any question? Okay. And then at last, we reach to our potential customer, which takes, first of all, lots of time. Secondly, there is a huge loss of touch. So the information is getting lost from from our room or the features of our room, what is conveyed to the customer, and we don't own the customer journey. So how we can change this is through a couple of tricks, like I'm going to talk about today Metasearch, and then if you stay in the next session, my colleague Phil will talk about how you can do it on your website. Of course, these will all make sense if you can combine them all so that we can lower the customer journey and we can smooth the process. And what I would like to do is look at a very brief snapshot of a real traveler's decision-making journey. So it is not the case that traveler goes to an OTA, they book, or they come to your website and within one session they book. They do happen, but it is incredibly rare. This is a study made by Google with a pseudonym Kendra. They basically employed her for a course of 5 months and to look at what is her decision-making journey, what sites do they use, etc. And in this case, Kendra is a single mother and who travels a lot for business and pleasure. In a 5-month period during this study, she planned business trips to Amarillo, Kerrville, Texas, and whilst as well exploring the destination. So if you look at over the course of 5 months, she had 700 digital touch points, where most of the sites they visited is either Google Maps, where we'll come later on this, the importance of Google Maps and your hotel being online on Google Hotel Ads, and then the flight providers and hotel providers as well. So the inspiration stage or the planning stage starts within Google Maps. This is demonstrated by the Google study as well. And then once we are inspired and we start planning, then we do use other channels like hotels webpage, OTAs, or Google itself. To put all this into a perspective of data, I would like to show you another data made by Sabre, this giant GDS. This is from 2019, and they collated all the data where the inspiration, where the search was initiated and where the hotel was booked initially from all their hotels, which is nearly over right now 40,000. So if you look at the meta here, where the search is initiated by Meta, can be Google, it can be TripAdvisor, Kayak, hotels combined. Most of the people stayed in the Meta, and they went to the supplier and OTAs as well. So What does it mean for that? There are OTAs bidding for your hotel on Meta. So which means this is a good chunk that we can exploit. And once they land on the search was initiated in the supplier's web page, as you can see, most of the hotel was booked on the supplier's web page, or the second followed by Meta or OTA. So what it tells us, so once they land to your web page, you are getting 46% of the bookings on average, according to the study. But how do they get to your hotel and how do they find their hotel? This is a point that we're going to explore today. So this is, we believe, is through Meta. And yeah. So once we talk about data, we have a couple of points that we would like to focus why Meta is necessary for a hotel, or Google Hotel Ads is necessary for the hotel. First of all is FOMO, or fear of missing out, is real. I was thinking how to present this, like how can you convey the message fear of missing out to people in a short way. So I came up with this one. So what we know from COVID and how we can display the FOMO experiences. Pre-COVID, nobody looked at those shelves, right? We were just buying when we needed, and then suddenly the COVID came, and a product that was nobody cared about, apart from the usual use of it, became a longed for item. So what we have seen through the COVID is many more customers have experienced a genuine scarcity, and the things we take for granted and easy to buy, like can be a flour or toilet paper, were suddenly hard to get off. And fear of losing out or fear of missing out caused people to stockpile and buy quickly before the things ran out. And we use it a lot. Especially the OTAs use it a lot. If you go to the OTAs, like last 2 rooms left, or the price will change tomorrow, or the flash sale sites where they give a scarcity or urgency to the people, they do use a lot. But we as hoteliers, we do not use it enough. So with so many choices, there are many choices and many hotels in the market, and there are so many decisions to be made on price or quality or the room size, etc. Customers are really relying on mental shortcuts to make decision. So they do use reviews, Google reviews, when to help them make decisions. They look at the price or design as a signal of hotel quality. And where do they make those choices? It is generally before they come to your web page. So our presence in Google and other Meta channels are quite important to drive people to our web page and show them that there is something really that they can miss out if they do not visit us and potentially book us. So then they form as well an emotional connection with the images in the photo gallery. And do note that lots of people do not come to your gallery web page. They just Google it online, or they once they see your hotel as a listing, they look at the pictures over there. So how can Meta help us with this one? So Meta captures the ready to buy book traffic in the planning phase. So this is the customer journey. They make some research where to go, and then they started planning their journey. Let's say I wanted to go to Prague, and I made the decision, I made the research, and I found out that it is a good choice for me, can be for whatsoever reason. Then I started planning it. In the planning stage, this is where the traffic comes to your web page or the OTA. So the decision is yours here. If you are present on Meta, Google Hotel Ads, Trivago, or TripAdvisor, and it can be different for each hotel's distribution needs, then you're visible to your hotel, and there is a huge chunk of traffic that you can exploit that will not go to the OTAs. And once the planning and they land in your web page, this is the booking phase. This, as I said, my colleague Phil will talk about in the other session, where once the traffic is there, how we can optimize this traffic and how we can convert the traffic. Our second point is, this is the lovely point for the revenue managers or marketing managers in the hotel. In essence, you are really losing money. So what is happening is Metasearch creates this liberating moment from hoteliers from commission and OTA focus. And Google and other metas help hoteliers to get found and booked without an OTA involved. And do note that we'll come to the second point again in a couple of slides. Do note that like all the OTAs, all the big OTAs are bidding for your hotel on these meta channels as well. And interestingly, if we put some data in it, if we look at the cancellation rates, that will tell a bigger story. This is done by HRS, looking at all the channels, what their cancellation rate is by reservation value. As you can see on the bottom line, the website direct has the lowest cancellation rate. So it tells us a couple of stories. One is because you own the customer journey from the start and they book on your web page, they might be more loyal because they know you from the start. Secondly, there is more personalized touch when you go to the website. And thirdly, there is not lots of choice. Let's say they didn't end in the booking and going around 100 hotels and they just make a blind choice. And as you can see as well, the change year over year is quite low compared to other OTAs as well. And our third point will be is how you can beat your competition. So what we were relying on until now is like the tools like OTA Insight or RateGain or whatsoever. We are doing rate shopping. We are constantly looking at what the other competitor is doing, which is nice, but doesn't tell the whole story. So what we need to do, we don't need to beat the OTAs and beat the competition and help the guests decide for your hotel. So there are OTAs bidding on your meta, and we'll come to data side of this, how much money they're spending on the data for your hotel. They are bidding for your hotel, but that doesn't mean that you will get that booking. So what happens when I go to TripAdvisor, I have seen Hotel X, I can see Booking.com's price, Expedia price, which basically means they are bidding for it, or other OTAs. And when I click on any of them, I will be directed to Booking.com's webpage with your hotel there, but there will be hundreds of hotels underneath as well. So the interest of those OTAs is to get booking for whichever hotel they want. They can, of course, if the basket value is higher, it is better for them, but at least they have a showcase of hundreds and thousands of hotels that they can divert the potential buyer to. And do not forget, when someone is on any meta channel and they are on your hotel looking at the reviews and clicking on any OTA there, do note that your brand or your hotel brought them to the OTA, and the OTA most probably brought them to your competition or another hotel in the area, which might not be your competition. So that brings us, I guess, to the attribution problem. So we hoteliers, I think, are obsessed with the attribution. So we are looking at ways to find where we can attribute the single booking to which channel, etc. So this is a $1 million question. So there is session one, who is looking at your hotel and found your hotel in Google Ads. It's a discovery stage. And then there is another session. The same guy goes to Google Hotel Ads and makes a booking. And for the hotel, the fundamental question is, who takes credit of this booking? So we can have three examples here. Let's say there is a guy called Adam. He lands in your booking engine via Metasearch after his first search for your hotel and makes a book straight away. For us, it's easy. It came from Metasearch and it made a booking. There is no problem of attribution here. But in another case, if another guy called, let's call it Brian, lands on your booking engine via Metasearch after the first search for hotels in your area, but leaves the site with a very small session time, and then comes back the next day after seeing your retargeting campaign on Facebook and completes the booking. And let's think about the third case as well. There is another guy, let's say, and let's call it Chris, finds the hotel and visits your website from a campaign of yours on Google Ads, but he comes back the next day from Google Ads, Hotel Ads, to complete the booking. So this is a $1 million question that I think we are quite obsessed with. This is we need to look at the attribution, but we need to look at sensibly and sensibly, and then we shouldn't. Data is important, but we should use data intelligently as well. So I know that every hotelier on planet Earth would love to have a simple answer to such questions, but unfortunately, most times they get it wrong. It is wrong because maybe they're using a web marketing consultant, or directly the distribution channel manager used to connect them to the Metasearch. They will just simply report one source of traffic and one source of attribution. However, we know that there is no simple answer to this. And moreover, any single attributed answers to simple scenarios like the three examples we have given above, is misleading and not representative of the truth. So if you recall the first guy, Adam, who basically came and booked your hotel in the first session, he booked a hotel in the first attempt, and it's likely that he could have made other searches before, perhaps from the other devices. So the attribution problem doesn't give us the whole story. That's what I'm trying to tell you as well. So what does it mean for us? It means that data is, of course, important, but it's extremely easy to misrepresent and can lead to wrong decisions as well. The solution is in understanding your customer journey and knowing your prospects' behaviors and habits. Without that, without knowing the customer journey, how the customer behaves, you will be flying blind, and even data will let you think that you're in control. And coming back to Meta, from here, from the attribution problem, is there are a couple of different scenarios for Meta for each hotel to know how it can work. So as you might know, or as you might not be aware of, there are three simple scenarios of Meta. There is a cost per click model where hotel allocates a budget to the provider, and they, for each click, they bid for each click. So what we have seen through our data is there is an expected cost of booking around 7 to 10% for each booking you make through a CPC model. You make expected, like there is a commission of 7 to 10%, let's say, and then there is the commission model of Meta, where you do not allocate any budget whatsoever, and we deal with all the bidding on behalf of you, where there is a commission of 15% compared to OTAs, where it can go up to 24%. I know that some of you might say that I'm already paying 15% to Booking.com, etc. But how we calculate this commission, there is the lost opportunity cost plus the loss of not having the smooth journey with the guest as well. So just look at your numbers when you go back to your hotel, how many incremental revenue you get from OTA guests compared to your own guests that book from their own web page, where you basically can cross or upsell before they arrive to your hotel. So that brings me to our logo with Hotelchamp, everyone wins. What we mean by that, we want all the hotels to take control of their online presence, because we know, as you can call the slide 3 as well, we know that if when there is traffic, half of the people are booking from your own web page. As the study of Sabre showed, it is 46% to be precise. But as well, hotels do get a huge chunk. They do bid a lot of money in the Meta as well. So it is in our hands to change that. I think it is time to change that. COVID has showed us how customer journey and customer behavior has changed lately. And to give you another small data as well, the big OTAs, what I mean by big OTAs is Priceline and Expedia Group, have spent nearly 30% of their marketing budget through Meta, which is Google, Kayak, and TripAdvisor. And it is on our hands to change that. And if you have any questions, please do write on the chat, or else you can get in touch with us through our email and website or phone as well. Any questions, do get in touch with us. I know that we can change the shift from the big OTAs to us, but the traffic is key, and we get the traffic through Meta. So thank you very much. I wish you all a lovely day and hope to speak with you soon.